Good evening. Tonight on the Beaver News, the SIFE receives national recognition and a decorated professor gives his final lecture. Those stories and more coming up next. Welcome to your Thursday night edition of the Beaver News. We're glad to have you with us. I'm Mackenzie Allen.
And I'm Max Newfield. The Oregon State Engineers Without Borders student chapter is looking to raise money for 3 students and 1 advisor's assistant to trip to Lila, Kenya. According to Brittany Galindo of the Daily Barometer, Engineers Without Borders is a student group here on campus that seeks to form relationships with developing communities around the world to help and improve their quality of life through sustainable engineering projects. EWB OSU President and Engineering Sophomore James Teeters said, quote, "The communities will contact our head organization, Engineers Without Borders USA, and EWB USA will compile all this help. Then a chapter organization, chapter being either a university or a professional chapter from a major city, they will appear to partner with the community," end quote. The group has now partnered with a small town in Kenya called Lila to improve the standard of living there.
After nearly 30 years as a professor in the Political Science Department at Oregon State University, Professor Bill Lunch will give his final lecture today before his retirement in June. Over the course of his career, Lunch has received many accolades, including Outstanding Faculty Member for the 1986-1987 school year, Top Professor for the 1993-1994 year, and in 2005 was awarded the Excellence Award from the College of Liberal Arts for Research, Teaching, and Public Service, according to Jenna Mahler of the Daily Barometer. Lunch is credited with creating the first Politics of Science course, and several years later, the Civil Rights Movement and Policies class, in response to the added requirement of a Difference, Power, and Discrimination course. This final lecture was open to the public and focused on regional and national political differences.
Ray McGinnis's knowledge of sports wins him the title of the Dixon Sports Trivia Contest. For the second year in a row now, McGinnis is the official intramural sports trivia winner. Brittany Galindo of the Daily Barometer reports that having an immense amount of sports information finally paid off for the 2-time champion. McGinnis says, quote, "I watch sports all the time, and I kind of just soak it in. I have a really good memory when it comes to numbers and weird little things like that," end quote. The Jeopardy-style contest quizzed 10 participants on trivia from football to marathon running. Out of all the sports information McGinnis knows, he admits that he has the most knowledge about the NBA and basketball in general. McGinnis said, quote, "It's nice to be good at something. Everybody has their thing, and I have sports trivia."
The Oregon State University Students in Free Enterprise program has received national recognition for their work in the Campbell's Let's Can Hunger Challenge. According to Camille Jacobson Ingram of the Daily Barometer, the program took home 2nd place in the Let's Can Hunger Challenge and 20th in the nation overall at the SIFE National Exposition in Minneapolis earlier this year. OSU SIFE works to reduce food insecurity across Oregon, but for competition took a more national approach. Jennifer Villabus, OSU SIFE president, had this to say about the group's work with Campbell's Challenge, quote, "We also taught over 1,600 children at programs like Boys and Girls Clubs across the nation about food insecurity and healthy eating habits. We ran community food drives during the year, raising over 55,000 pounds of food and $9,000 for local food banks and food pantries this year."
We now go to a news report brought to you by Spencer Smallwood about a team of students who learn about poverty firsthand.
Hello everyone, I'm Spencer Smallwood on the field today. I'm actually here at the Phi Gamma Delta house where some interesting stuff's going on. Let's go take a look in the kitchen. Today with Alexander Schultz here in looks like the Fiji kitchen. He's supporting right now Live Below the Line. Can you tell us more about this, Alex?
Live Below the Line is a part of the Global Poverty Project. What we're doing is we're spending $1.50 a day on food, and this is pretty much what my food will look like for 5 days.
So describe it again, what exactly all this is. This is what?
Right here we have brown rice, just standard brown rice. Use the chicken flavor packet from Top Ramen to give it a little bit of flavor. Your standard can of corn, and then freeze-dried pinto beans straight out of the bin, just hydrated and cooked for a couple hours, and that's about it.
Would you say you're having a tough time in school with this issue?
Not necessarily. It's really not that bad. I mean, it is kind of a lot of food, but it's not as much. Like I'm not always full. I'm not always completely satisfied, but it's definitely not a small portion to make me really feel it in school. I can still do my day-to-day activities.
I'm here with Sarah Creedican. Hey Sarah, can you tell us a little more details about this whole cause?
Yeah, well, it started in Australia a couple years ago, and this is actually the very first year that Live Below the Line has been in the U.S., so that's really exciting for us. You know, our team, the Believers, have actually gotten quite a bit of publicity. We got some photos up on the website.
Oh yeah.
And we were one of the top fundraising teams for a while there, so that was very exciting.
Awesome. What made you personally want to do this?
Well, I originally heard about the idea at the presentation 1.4 Billion Reasons, which my friend Molly Jones kind of helped bring to campus, and I helped her get the word out about it. And this was one of the things they told us we could do to raise awareness and help end extreme poverty, so we decided to take on the challenge.
1.4 billion people go through this every day of their lives. So it's kind of just, I want to experience what they're doing, a little bit of solidarity. And in doing so, I'm raising awareness. The fraternity that I live here, everybody here knows about it now. And it's because a couple of us have decided that we're going to do this. And I mean, I'm cooking my meals in my kitchen, and they get to see that. And they see the portions that I'm eating compared to the portions and the food that they're eating.
The biggest struggle so far has definitely been in the evenings. I've been totally fine throughout the day, like on my oatmeal, my Top Ramen, but then I get towards the end of the day and the hunger just hits me like a train.
Anything else you need to tell us, the users out there, for next year maybe, what they should do, how to get involved?
Yeah, definitely. Next year, sign up online at www.livebelowtheline.com, and you can sign up as a team, you can sign up as an individual. It's a really awesome learning experience, and it really makes you think about a lot of things that you didn't think about before.
We're going to take a quick break now, but when we return, a conclusion to the Elizabeth Smart trial, and Oprah signs off for the final time. You won't want to miss it, so stay tuned.
Open a book, you can explore new lands, make new friends, and discover new adventures. There are amazing possibilities when you open your mind to reading. Explore new worlds. Read.
Metal Con! Let's go! Hurry! Metal Con! Metal Con! Metal Con! Metal Con!
Dude, why is your mom driving us to MetalCon?
Remember when I bought us all snowboards on that credit card and never paid it back? Well, I guess they check that stuff out when you apply for a car loan.
Afterwards, we'll all go out for ice cream. Don't let your credit put you in a bad place. Go to controlyourcredit.gov.
Welcome back to the Beaver News here on Channel 26. The almost 9-year-long saga surrounding the kidnapping of then 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart is finally coming to an end following yesterday's sentencing of kidnapper Brian David Mitchell. According to CNN, Mitchell was sentenced to life in prison after more than 4 weeks of trial proceedings. Smart testified that on June 5, 2002, she awoke to find a man holding a steel blade to her neck and that over the course of the next 9 months, she was repeatedly raped and threatened. Outside of the courthouse, Smart gave this statement, quote, "As I said during court, and I say again now, I'm absolutely 100% believe that Brian David Mitchell knew exactly what he was doing when he kidnapped me, and all the events that followed. Today is the ending of a very long chapter, and the beginning of a very beautiful chapter for me," end quote.
Overcrowding of prisons led to the idea of letting out 33,000 inmates, but California officials said Tuesday the inmates will stay. Instead, they will submit plans to the federal courts in 2 weeks specifying ways to remedy prisons overcrowding under U.S. Supreme Court order this week. The state's plan to reduce prison overcrowding is still being prepared for a special federal 3-judge panel. California's 33 adult prisons now hold well over 140,000 inmates. Terry Burton of the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation said, quote, "We particularly need the support and cooperation of the legislature with the immediate funding and implementation of AB 109, end quote. The so-called AB 109 law that Governor Jerry Brown signed in April will transfer low-level offenders from state prisons to county jails.
Media mogul and talk show queen Oprah Winfrey signed off after 25 years of The Oprah Winfrey Show yesterday afternoon. According to CNN, in addition to friends and family, the studio audience was filled with individuals whose lives she has impacted over the years, including filmmaker Tyler Perry and 200 other men who had been the victims of sexual abuse as children. In closing the show, Oprah gave one final thanks, saying, quote, "Every single day I come down from my makeup room, I'd offer a prayer of gratitude for the opportunity to have done this work. To be embraced by all of you, it's one of the greatest honors a human being can have. Many of us have been together for 25 years. So I thank you for all your support and trust in me. I thank you for tuning in every day. I won't say goodbye, I'll just say until we meet again."
It's so sad to see Oprah go. Jared Lee Loeffner said the accused gunman in the Tucson shooting that claimed the lives of 6 and wounded 13, including United States Representative Gabrielle Giffords, has been ruled incompetent to stand trial. According to CNN, both psychologist Christina Pietz and psychiatrist Matthew Carroll diagnosed Loeffner with paranoid schizophrenia. In court on Wednesday, Loeffner had to be removed due to loud outbursts where he seemed to be speaking nonsensically to himself. Due to this ruling, Loeffner will be taken into custody by U.S. Attorney General and placed in a mental health treatment facility, where it will be determined if he can be medicated to the point where he becomes competent enough to understand the charges being brought against him. Following treatment, Loeffner is scheduled to be back in court on September 21st. We're going to take a short break now, but when we come back, coffee prices on the rise and your weather forecast for the week, so stay tuned.
What do you got, little fella? What do you got there? Looks like someone's butt. And they must have lost it playing with their kids.
So, are you going out tonight?
I can't. My parents say I have to be home right after work.
That's so gay.
Totally gay.
Ugh, that is so Emma and Julia.
Why are you saying that's so Emma and Julia?
Well, you know, when something is dumb or stupid, you say that's so Emma and Julia.
Who says that?
Everyone.
Imagine if who you are were used as an insult. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Drink from the tap. A $3 bottle of water a day times 10 years times 6% interest is over 14,000 clams. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. You up? What'd you dream about? Me? JK. Text me back. I'll keep texting till you wake up. Are your parents home later? Is this something I did? Exclamation point, question mark? Right this isn't a joke. Hello? Text me.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel like a fish with no water.
Learn how to prevent your child's next asthma attack. Because even one attack is one too many.
Welcome to the Thursday night edition of the Beaver News. According to CNN, teams of rescuers were put out yesterday in Canadian County, Oklahoma, searching land and water for a 3-year-old who went missing in the ferocious weather Tuesday. The toddler, Ryan Hamel, was with his mother and sibling in their home when the storm hit. Pam Kapner, the boy's great-aunt, stated that, quote, Cole, the 15-month-old, did not survive. Kathleen, of 5, is in the hospital in stable condition, and their pregnant mother, Catherine, has a lot of broken bones, bruises, and cuts. However, she is in stable condition, and the baby did get the heartbeat, and they did get the heartbeat of the baby yesterday, which means the baby is stable too. End quote. The children's father, Hank, was out of town Tuesday, but has returned and is now searching for Ryan.
Expect your morning brew to be getting a little bit more expensive. According to CNN, Starbucks announced yesterday that it would be raising the prices on packaged coffee sold in retail stores by an average of 17%. And Starbucks isn't alone. In addition to the Seattle-based coffee giant, Folgers, Dunkin' Donuts, Millstone, and Maxwell House have all been forced to steadily rise prices in the last year. Coffee makers blame poor growing conditions in South America and other coffee-growing regions for the increases. Market analysts expect the cost to continue to increase until the current global demand for coffee products is met. Last year alone, 134 million 60-kilogram bags of coffee were consumed, according to the International Coffee Organization.
That's a lot of coffee. The United States Justice Department has authorized prosecutors to bring criminal charges against former presidential candidate and Senator John Edwards, according to CNN. A source close to Edwards' family told CNN that the government wants Edwards to plead guilty to a felony, but he does not want to do that because they would lose his law license and he dreads going to prison. Since 2009, a federal grand jury in North Carolina has been investigating payments made to Riel Hunter, Edwards' mistress, who worked as a videographer for the campaign. The grand jury has been investigating whether the payments should be considered unreported campaign donations. Lawyers for Edwards have argued they should not be. Former Edwards staffer Andrew Young wrote about Rachel Millen in his book giving Edwards $700,000, but admits that she didn't know that Edwards would be using it to cover a scandal. The source with knowledge of the investigation said Wednesday that a resolution is expected soon. However, an indictment could be averted if prosecutors and lawyers for Edwards reach a plea deal.
We now turn it over to Max Newfield for a weather update for the upcoming days. Over to you.
Hey there, Corvallis. I'm Max Newfield, your Thursday weatherman, and boy, howdy. Better get those umbrellas out, because it's going to be rainy. Friday, we've got a high of 60 and a low of 46. Saturday, it's going to be a high of 58 and a low of 43. Sunday, we got a high of 62 and a low of 48. Still raining. Monday, still raining with a high of 63 and a low of 45. But Tuesday is going to be the day you want to go outside because it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 49. So that's your weather forecast for this weekend and next upcoming week. I'm Max Newfield. Back to you.
We're going to take one last short break. When we come back, a drought sweeps through China and the head IMF position is open for bidding. Stay tuned.
Charging. He's in VFib.
Shocking. Drives it real all the time. Just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear. You just buzzed.
Just buzzed? You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. He'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shocking.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel like a fish with no water.
Learn how to prevent your child's next asthma attack. Because even one attack is one too many.
Horseradish. Is that for horses? Remember me, Mr. Lobster? From last Tuesday? Banana. 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 Here comes the rain. We need a hat. And why do we need a hat? They got. That's right.
When you talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts long before school does. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bagging lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Corvallis, and welcome to your Thursday night edition of the Beaver News.
Tell me a little bit about the history of music a la carte.
United States. We believe that giving potential customers
Or cameras is nothing.
Welcome back to the news here on Channel 26.
Welcome back to the Beaver News here on Channel 26. The Three Gorges Dam in China is the world's largest hydroelectric power plant, is currently facing urgent problems in a statement released by Chinese government. According to CNN, environmental, construction, and migration disasters are expected due to the drought, the worst in the area has seen in 50 years, hitting southern China. The government has ordered 5 billion cubic meters of water to be released from the dam over the next 20 days to lessen some of the effects of the drought, though even that may do little good. In a statement from the government, at the same time that the Three Gorges Dam project provides huge comprehensive benefits, urgent problems must be resolved regarding the smooth relocation of residents, ecological protection, and geological disaster prevention. Three Gorges Dam, which cost $28 million to construct in 1992, has been the source of both pride for the Chinese government and controversy among scientists and villagers due to the large negative impact the dam has had on surrounding areas.
7 police officers in Pakistan have been killed and 23 others were wounded after a suicide bomber drove his car through a police station, detonating over 660 pounds of explosives on Wednesday. According to CNN, the Taliban is claiming responsibility, saying the attack was to avenge the killings of innocent civilians by the armed forces at the instruction of the United States. A senior police official of Peshawar told CNN that the station was being used to question militants, though there were none on the premises at the time of the explosion. The Special Forces members running the interrogation were also believed to have been targets of the attack.
2 of the damaged reactors at the crippled Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant in Japan may be riddled with holes, according to facility's owner. Tokyo Electric Power Company said in a report that the holes may be as big as 7 to 10 centimeters. They also included that the containment vessel of the reactor number 1 may have developed as a hole as big as 3 centimeters in diameter. 18 hours after the quake and the 50 hours after the quake, the hole may have widened to 7 centimeters. CNN reports that the nuclear experts and scientists have long suspected this sort of damage to the containers of the reactors at the crippled plant, as well as a full meltdown of the fuel rods in reactors 1, 2, and 3.
French Finance Minister Christine Lagarde announced her candidacy to become head of the International Monetary Fund Wednesday, after former IMF chief Dominique Strauss-Kahn left the post after being charged with the rape of a hotel maid in New York, according to CNN. Lagarde would be the first woman to hold the position since the IMF was founded in 1946 and has already garnered support from French President Nicolas Sarkozy, the French Prime Minister François Fillon, as well as both Germany and Britain. Not everyone is supporting this bid, however, with some believing that it is time the global fund be managed by someone outside of Europe. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa released in a joint statement that the unwritten convention dictating that the IMF leader be European, quote, undermines the legitimacy of the fund, end quote. In 2009, Lagarde was named one of the world's most powerful women by Forbes magazine.
12-year-old Lee Min-kyung says, I'm excited. I think I'll look better than I do now. She's a ballet dancer from South Korea and is planning on getting a revolutionary new plastic surgery procedure to help boost her confidence. A surgery to alter the structure of her eyes. Everyone, she says, points out her small eyes. It's why she doesn't think she's a pretty girl. The surgery, which cuts a fold into her eyelid and create a double fold, will widen her eyes. The effect will give her a slightly more Western look. Her mother, Jang Hyo-hee, says her daughter didn't ask for the surgery. She says, I am having her do it because I think it'll help her. This is a society where you have to be pretty to get ahead. She's my only daughter, end quote. Dr. Kim Byung-gun is the head of the Seoul, South Korea's biggest plastic surgery clinic, BK Dongyang. Dr. Kim believes the global economy, a more Western face, can lead to more confidence, a better job, and a better marital partner. And that concludes our broadcast for this evening. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and be sure to come back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another live broadcast of the Beaver News. And don't forget to keep it super, Corvallis.